I noticed on post you place at 8:30. I'm like 8:30. I thought we were doing 9.
Yeah, we're live now. We'll give it a little bit of time to get some folks in here.
Okay.
Uh, you've been running around like why are we doing this on the Wednesday, buddy? What's going on? Usually this is a Tuesday Thursday show.
Excuse me. They scheduled me off on Wednesday this week for some dumb reason.
Maybe somebody needed a day off or something.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
They put me on Tuesday nights to do the ad sets. I know that.
you've been like in that same schedule for quite a while now, right?
Yeah. Oh, that water went down the wrong way.
You gonna be all right there, big dog?
Yeah, I drank some water and it went down the wrong pipe.
My stinking Facebook, dude. Every time I go live now, it makes my video private. I have to go to my personal Facebook page, edit
Yeah.
the privacy, and make it a public video. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
just a little wild. So I'm doing
Hey,
that now.
Rodney. Hey, Kelly. Hey,
Awesome.
Christopher.
Hey, I'll let you post comments, man. You can pin
Okay.
them. Make sure you pin all the comments so everybody can get their shout out there,
Okay.
and then read them to me because I'm always busy in the background.
I should have never took a drink of water. 'Cause that's what's doing it. Drink some water. I'm coughing.
Who else hanging out with us tonight? Who's in the comments?
So far, I'm seeing Rodney, Cox, Kelly up off, Christopher and Rue. And that's been it so far.
Nice, man. How's everybody's week been?
Probably throwing everybody off since we're doing a Wednesday.
Yeah, they're all.
Which I apologize, but that's.
They're probably checking their calendars. Like, is it Thursday? Did I miss a whole day?
Yeah, I know.
Did I
right?
miss an entire day?
I know.
Where are my
Right?
kids? You know, like. All right, man.
This is a
Well,
nightmare.
you're coughing from the water, or
Yes, I took a drink of water and went down the wrong pipe.
well, I can read the first couple of flyers
Oh, I'm
until
good
you
now.
get
I
your
think. I think I'm good now.
until you get your
I think I'm okay.
you get your wind back. All right, man. Well, let's go
Yeah.
ahead and get into this, man. Let's go ahead and cover some cases.
All right.
What's going on here?
This one I've been sharing for well, you can see November since November. I've been asked to reshare her a couple times. Samantha Holt. She's missing from Wichita, Kansas since November 16th of last year. She was 15 when she was missing. She's now 16. 5'2", 110 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. It's believed she may be in the downtown Wichita area. Not 100% sure, but possibly. So if you have any information regarding Samantha's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or 316-660-9452 or KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get Samantha located and back to where she needs to be.
Was we haven't done a show in a while. Is this like a newer flyer you've done, or have you been sharing this since November? Like, what do you
Yeah.
know about this case?
Yeah, I've been sharing it since November, and the parties that requested it have asked me to reshare it several times since November. So I wanted to get her on and get her covered and see if we can't help get her home.
Have you been talking to any like loved ones of hers or anything like that? Like,
I wish I could get a hold of some of her loved ones, kind of get some more background, but as of right now, no.
it's tough, man. It's tough. You know, we see these kids go missing, and you never know. And like, you know, there's sometimes when people go missing, it's big news. Sometimes, you know, nobody's ever heard of it. Kelly says,
Yeah.
I'm sick at work, but I get off in a half an hour. I'm just trying to check in.
That's
Awesome.
cool, Kelly. I saw your picture you posted, I guess, before you went to work. So
Are you clicking that? Oh, okay.
yeah, my pin.
Okay. Andrea Lynn is here. What's
Yeah.
up, Andrea Lynn?
Hey,
I haven't
Andrea.
seen some of these names in a while. It's been a little while, Ricky. I have a little bit of a
Yeah.
cold going on right now too. My nose is stuffy, so
Yeah.
hopefully it doesn't get worse. Let's go ahead and talk about this case here.
Marjorie Tucker, yeah, this is one I've had her up and going for quite some time, but I keep updating the age now and that kind of thing. But Marjorie Tucker, she's missing from Topeka, Kansas. It's March 12th, 1993. She was 65 when she was missing. She's now be 96. She's 5 foot tall, 90 pounds, gray or partial gray hair and brown eyes. She was last seen in Topeka on March 12th, 93. The photo above was taken 10 years before she went missing. More recent photos are not available right now. Again, at the time she went missing, she was 65. She's now 96. She's 5 foot tall, 90 pounds, gray or partially gray hair and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Marjorie's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call Topeka, Kansas Police Department at 785-368-9200 or the KBI at 785-296-4017, and see if we can't get Marjorie located and back to where she needs to be.
I remember covering this case, obviously years ago. We've been covering this case for a while, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish they could have got more recent photos. So that one's, 10 years. Well, probably 11 years now, but but the photos themselves were taken 10 years before she went missing. So
yeah, it's hard. Plus, there's been like a significant amount of time since she's been missing. Even recent photos would be obsolete by this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's rough, man. You have people that are looking for their loved ones this far. Like 1993. That's crazy, man.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Let's talk about this case here.
Yeah, this is Exandria. She goes by Akari Mia Lee, Toronto. Missing from Salina, Kansas, since March 25th, 2024. She's 16, 5'7", 180 pounds, black hair, blue eyes. And like I said, she does go by Akari. She does have anxiety and depression issues that she struggles with. Again, she's 16, 5'7", 180 pounds, black hair, blue eyes. Has a tattoo of a rose behind her ear, a tattoo of a butterfly on the back of her right thigh, tattoo of a single line flower bouquet on the back of her calf, and a tattoo of N and M on her inner ankle. If you have any information regarding Exandria's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can't get Exandria located and back to where she needs to be. I'm trying not to click the pin.
Yeah. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
Okay, that's right there in your town, man, Salina.
Yeah. Here we go. My younger daughter.
She's in here talking?
Yeah, she said, "Hi, Dad, you're doing good."
Has she ever commented before?
A couple times in the past, yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
And then we've got Tess Newton. Hey, guys. Hey, Tess, how you doing? Thanks for
Tess.
joining us tonight.
All right, let's talk about this case here.
I will do my best. The printing is so small, I don't know if I can read it. Let me see if I can pull it up in a bigger format to where I can see it a little better.
I can read it. It says April was last seen leaving an apartment complex in the 800 block of Marion Road in Wichita, Kansas on January 11th, 2000. Her friend told authorities that she saw April heading toward Pawnee Street and Broadway Street between 10 and 10:30 p.m. that evening. Investigators believe that April may have had her pager. Wow, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Apartment keys and wallet with her when she disappeared. She has never been heard from again. April was scheduled to testify. I always hate when you have to put that on. It's like she was scheduled to go to court. That's scary. April was scheduled to testify in a felony statutory rape trial 2 days after her disappearance. Her mother stated she was unhappy about having to testify, but had agreed to do so. Authorities do not know if her disappearance is in connection to the trial or if other factors are involved in the case. April was initially classified as a runaway, but investigations have since stated that she vanished under unclear circumstances. She left behind all her clothes and her social security number. She has not used since she went missing. Her mother stated, this is small. Her mother stated that prior to her disappearance, she had often spoken of wanting to go to California. April was living with a friend of her mother at the time of her disappearance. She wanted to experiment with living away from home. Her case remains unsolved. April, what does that say?
What's that?
April's ears and nose were pierced.
They're pierced, yeah.
She has a tattoo on her left hand. April has scars on her left hand, high wrist and near her left eye.
Right.
And then, do you know the Wichita numbers off the top of your head? Those are tiny.
Yeah, down there. If you have any information regarding April's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-337-6552 or 316-660-9452 or 316-660-9456 or 316-268-4181 or 316-263-6011 or KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can't help get her located. It's been quite a long time.
Very long time,
Over
man.
24 years. So,
Not good.
yes.
This case sounds a lot like the Garden City case. Rachel Pratt
Yeah.
has a lot of the same
Yeah.
pieces, like testifying in a statutory rape case, wanting to go, thoughts of maybe going to California. This very much reminded me of Rachel Pratt's case.
Hey, Misty, how you doing? Deirdre Carlin, hi guys. Kelly, we need a microscope to read that flyer for sure. Yeah, unfortunately, when there's a lot of information, yeah. Esther and Rue, hello guys. Hey Esther, how you doing?
Hello, everybody. Let's talk about this case here.
Yeah, this one is a recent one. Alyssa Johnson, missing from Wichita since April 2nd of this year. She's 14, 5'4", 130 pounds, blonde hair, blue eyes. Last seen in the area of South Edwards and Douglas in Wichita. Again, she's 14, 5'4", 130 pounds, blonde hair, blue eyes. She was last seen wearing a black hooded sweater. So I'm assuming that's a sweater or sweatshirt, I'm not sure, and blue jeans and a pink purse. If you have any information regarding Alyssa's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call 911 immediately or call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-263-6011. Or call KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get Alyssa located and back to where she needs to be. Excuse me.
A lot of youngsters, man. That's
Yeah, I know.
That's a scary, man. 14 years old out by yourself. That's scary.
Yeah.
Gotta have you gotta have
And Misty says, so happy y'all back. Yeah, I'm glad to be back. It's been a while. This is the second show.
glad to hear
did
that
one
last
last week.
ringtone.
Oh geez, I forgot to silence that thing.
No, it's part of the show. It's the third host, dude.
No, I know, right?
Let's talk about our buddy here. Kenny,
Kenny. Yeah.
By the way, if any viewers out there know where, if anybody has any photos of Kenny when he was younger, like obviously we want the most recent photos to find him, but I'm just curious after covering his flyer this long. I'm curious to know what he looked like. I think Ricky, didn't you say he had like red hair or something?
Yeah,
like,
he had reddish hair, very reddish hair. Yeah.
So I'm just curious to see what he looked like when he was in his heyday, you know. But go ahead and read his flyer. Yeah.
Yep, he's missing here from Salina, Kansas, and been missing since November 4th, 2019. I can't talk tonight. He was 69 when he went missing. He's now 73, 5'9", 175 pounds, gray hair and blue eyes. He does sometimes use the last name Brown as opposed to his given name of Rychek. He does suffer from diminished mental health capabilities. He is on disability and has not tried to access the funds since he was last seen. He may have family in northwest Kansas, possibly around the Colby area. He does not have a cell phone, vehicle, or any kind of identification. Again, at the time of his disappearance, he was 69. He'd now be 73. He's 5'9", 175 pounds. He has gray hair and blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Kenny's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210 or Crime Stoppers at 785-825-8477 or text SA Tips to Crime, which is 274-637. Or you can visit www.pd.salina.org and follow the Crime Stoppers link to submit a tip, or call KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get Kenny located and back to where he needs to be. I know a lot of people are worried about him, miss him, want to see him. So let's see if we can't get him, get him back where he needs to be.
Yeah, 100%. And I want to pin this comment. I'm beaming this page, this stream to my hometowns page that I watch there, and we got about 12 people watching. I just want to let everybody know that Ricky has the page Kansas Missing and Unsolved. How many followers are you up to now? Did you hit 87 yet?
Do I know?
How many followers do you have on your page now?
Getting ready to hit 86,000.
Yeah, so I love everybody watching on the Elkhart tapes, and please continue to watch the content I make on the Elkhart the movie. But please feel free to go over to this link, Kansas Missing and Unsolved's Facebook page, like the page, follow the page, and then watch us there as well. There's a lot more chatters there, a lot more people talking there.
Now this I didn't know. This is my daughter right
Oh, go
here.
ahead.
She says, I remember him. He used to ride his bike by the house every now and then. I hope he's safe. Yep. He definitely used to ride his bike everywhere. That's for sure.
Wow, she remembers. Misty Hilton, all these missing folks. It's just so sad.
Yeah. And then my daughter says, yeah, it really is. It is
Following from Ashland, Sue Chester.
Not sure where Ashland is.
We're going out to 8 different platforms. We got 53 people here with us. Share the show. Please help us get some of these people found. We appreciate all of you watching. Please share the show. So let's talk about this. You messaged me today and you said, hey, lots of chatter on the comment section on the Michael Gold. What's going on with it? Before you read the flyer, like what's going on? Why is there a big influx in conversation on a case this old?
I don't know. It's just all of a sudden I'm getting these alerts on comments, and I look to see where the comments are coming from, and they're coming from Michael Golub's flyer, and I'm just like, okay. I mean, I'm glad to see the chatter, and I'm hoping that chatter will lead to somebody talking. I really do. But a lot of it just seems to be, speculation of what may have happened to him or where he may be, that kind of thing. Somebody pointed out that right after he went missing, the parties that are suspected of doing it apparently capped off a couple of wells after that fact. So they're surmising maybe he's in one of those wells and that kind of thing.
Real quick, I want to touch on that. So that's like if you're from Kansas and you're like me and Ricky and you look into old homicides and stuff, we've all heard about the old well thing. Now I'm not an expert, but I do know there are some types of holes in the ground that are oil field related that you could hide a body in, but a lot of these like capped off wells that people are talking about, the entrance to those wells is only 8 inches. So I think a lot of people like to say, oh, well, it's so easy to go throw a body down an old well. Not really. You could do it, but you can't just willy-nilly. Usually I've talked to a lot of oil field people. They say that most of those holes are 8 inches like across. That's it. Getting a human body down there would not be an easy task. And again, the only reason I say that is that's not every case that the person's missing, you always hear that theory. So I did some research. I don't think that it's as easy to put somebody down an old well as people say. But go ahead and read the flyer. But yeah, I just wanted to ask what was going on with the chatter on that one.
Well, like I say, I'm hoping all that chatter will lead to maybe people getting nervous and people talking. So we'll see what happens and see if it leads to anything. But I'd like to see that people are talking about it. That's for sure. Michael Golub, he's missing from Stanton County, Kansas since May 20th, 2005, was 27 when he went missing. He's now 45. He is 6'2", weighs between 165 and 180 pounds, has brown hair and blue eyes. Michael was last seen in Stanton County, Kansas at 6 p.m. on May 20th, 2005. He just finished work at his job at Kramer Harvesting, was supposed to pick up his 5-year-old son at his ex-girlfriend's home, but he never arrived there, and he has never been heard from again. He left behind a fiancée with whom he had an infant child, which it is uncharacteristic of him to leave without warning. Michael's golden brown Chevy S10 truck with toolboxes and Trego County, Kansas license plate was found abandoned on a county road in northwest Grant County, Kansas, 2 days after his disappearance. Following the truck's location, authorities began investigating Golub's disappearance as a potential homicide. Shannon Floyd, Golub's ex-girlfriend, and her husband, Chad Floyd, were arrested and charged with first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder in Michael's case in June 2006. Authorities believe he went to their home and was shot to death on the night of his disappearance. There's a great deal of animosity between Shannon and Golub, and they frequently disagreed over child support and visitation issues relating to their son. Michael's blood was found on the Floyd's front porch. The Floyd's defense attorney said there was insufficient proof Golub was dead and suggested he'd committed suicide or left on his own accord. At the couple's July 2007 trial, the jury was unable to reach a unanimous verdict, and a mistrial was declared. A second trial also ended with the jury unable to reach a verdict. Michael's body has never been found, but foul play is suspected in this case due to the circumstances involved. If you have any information regarding Michael's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the KBI at 1-800-572-7463 or 785-296-4017 and see if we can help get some information going to get Michael located and back to his family.
Yeah.
Check this. Let's look at some comments here. Let's see. We got Sue Chester's south of Dodge Clark. Oh, Ashland. Okay. And then Elizabeth Marie Adams. Hi from Joplin, Missouri.
Nice.
And Misty wants to know, Derek, do you have a page?
Yes, I will go back to flyer number. This is Michael. This is my Facebook page. We're live here, Elkhart the movie. I'm from Elkhart, Kansas. I moved back to my hometown about 2 months ago from Phoenix to make a movie about my hometown because I think my hometown's awesome. But just like every town in Kansas, there is some, unsolved homicides here as well. But like this case here, dude. So I talked to Michael. I think from what I remember, he has 2 sisters. And then there was a couple other women that were involved in this video chat group I was in, and we would talk I think we only ended up talking like 3 times. We were planning on talking once a week, and they kind of told me what the family knows about this case and everything. And just one thing that like whenever we left off, and that was a couple years ago, and I apologize that we haven't continued that, but where we kind of stopped is obviously anybody who's read any kind of news coverage of that trial, always their eyebrows raise a little. They're like, what? Because it does sound a little funky, like the trial. But when I talked to Michael's sisters, where we stopped is basically the county where the trial happened. Anybody can go into that courthouse and buy the transcript of both trials and read through it and do whatever they want with that information. But it's about, I think, like $3,500 for the lot to get them to basically print off the transcripts of that trial. So, I mean, to me, I feel like there's got to be I don't have $3,500 later, but I feel like there's got to be a lot of information that was said in both of those trials that probably isn't privy to public information. You know what I mean? But if somebody pays the fee, it's public information. You know what I mean?
Right. Somebody up here, Sue Chester's asking, what do you think there's been no search parties organized for the missing Yucatan women? No idea. That's a good question. You would think there would be. I know people have actually been, there's no organized search party, but I know people have been out looking. I do know that. There's a gal that has a YouTube channel under the name Rock Chalk that has been down there driving around and looking. She's brought her horses or dogs, been down there looking.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know she has been, a couple other people have.
What are your thoughts on her giving microphone? Like, you know how like your comment section on KMU is kind of a nightmare sometimes with speculation? Yeah. What are your thoughts on her giving a microphone with people who have nothing but speculation? Like they weren't there, they were not there at all, but they're speaking as if they know facts, like or reading comments. Like there's certain comments on KMU that you and I would never read on air because we don't want to hurt a family member, potentially make somebody out to look like a bad person, and we have no proof if they had anything to do with it. I feel like, do you feel like there's any recklessness to that Rock Chalk's coverage? Because I'm here in Elkhart, man. The car was found like 5 miles from where I'm sitting, so I'm pretty close to it. And yeah, like I'm wondering, like, is her coverage a little too close? It's like,
I think there's some things she could have probably not put out there, but she's gonna do what she's gonna do, I guess. I was watching her on an attorney out of New York's YouTube channel, is where I was watching her out of, because this gal had her on and stuff, and I was like, oh, okay.
Well, so I've been kind of staying away from it because like the family said, like, hey, we have news, you don't have to cover it. So I haven't been following it on the news or anything. I'm here so I can talk to people that I can try to talk to people that were actually around the area.
Right.
But to me, like, it was a few days ago, I got a message. My Elkhart the movie Facebook page blows up when stuff like that happens. People call me, message me. And I heard that, like, I don't know if it was Rock Chalk, but on somebody's live stream, and you go out in Elkhart out towards Oklahoma. There's podcasters, there's news names. They're all out there, dude. They're all out there looking for anybody that'll talk.
Oh, I know.
I heard that because like there's no, as far as I'm not kept up with it, but as far as I've heard, there's no official suspect in that. Like it's just 2 missing women. Yeah. But if you look at some of these live streams, they're naming suspects.
No, Lord.
Which is crazy. And somebody said, oh, such and such, this suspect that's been, I'm not going to say their name until the police say their name. Right. But there's like, oh, there's a raid going on at such and such suspect's house. And everybody's saying, go down to Four Corners. That's where all the news outlets are. Derek, go down. I was like, I don't want to go down. What am I going to tell them? The same stuff. So what I did is it took a long time. I found such and such suspect's address. Me and two people drove by that house, which there was no phone signal. We drove by there, and you know what we saw? Not a raid going on. So to
Oh
me, it's
wow.
just completely reckless.
No, I know it.
We're
I know it.
saying we have news outlets saying that there's raids going, and it didn't happen. Like, I love that people want to cover the case, but like like people are telling me to go to Four Corners. I was like, no, I want to go to this house to see if this is true or not. I don't want to go
Right.
out there and spew more speculation on what if there was a raid. There wasn't a raid, Ricky.
Wow.
And if there was, it was the cleanest raid ever. And you know, they didn't leave. They left the place looking very boring and farmhouse-ish. So
Right. That's
be
why I
very
don't like to
careful
deal
with these.
in.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like to deal in innuendo or speculation or rumor or anything like that.
Yeah. You got any comments you want to get to, man, before we move on? But yeah,
Let's
Michael
see.
Golub's case is very you can just look up Michael Golub on YouTube and you'll find several big news organizations that have done stories
Right.
on this case. It's a very pretty widely known case.
Yeah, Eddie Parks, he's saying the Floyds have too much money. They couldn't get a guilty verdict.
I've heard that.
And this is Missy's reply to my daughter's reply of that's horrible.
Okay.
And Misty says she's in Kansas City, Kansas, and she's heard some stories. And that's regarding Michael.
Yeah.
And then we got Elaine Ladd saying hi from Rand, Kansas.
Nice.
Patricia Sinclair saying hi from Chanute.
Nice.
Misty says she's going to come over to your page after the live.
Awesome.
Natasha Brent says hi, I'm from Kansas.
Hi, Natasha.
And Misty said that's why I like y'all. You guys respect families, etc. Exactly. That's why I say I don't deal in the rumor, innuendo, speculation, guesswork, none of that stuff. Misty says I feel when people does that, they try to throw people out. That yeah, and they could potentially damage a case down the road too. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Kelly says I'm off work, heading home now. Got to sneak watching the whole show. LOL.
Nice. So the reason I got into like quote unquote true crime, it wasn't because I was looking for murderers. I've never looked for a murderer. I've always looked for clearing people's names. Like I'm from Elkhart, where there's been a couple crazy situations like this, and anytime something crazy happens, allegations fly around, and I could bring you 5 people to my house in the next week that were called a murderer one time, and they didn't do anything, dude.
Oh wow.
But it ruined their life.
It could, yes, very easily.
It could, and it did. These guys, it ruined their life, dude. Be careful what you're saying on the internet. Drive by the house, do some actual research. Be careful. Anyway, let's talk about this case. Have you heard all I heard is there's an arrest. Obviously, we're still looking for Alexander Perez. But have you heard anything about like any update on what's going on with that arrest or post arrest?
I haven't heard a word. Nothing. Nothing. I wish they would put more out about that, but we're talking about Alexander Perez missing from Ulysses, Kansas on December 1st, 2020. He's 35 when he went missing. This is one of those ones I'm not sure he had a birthday or not yet. I'm not for sure, but last I looked, he was still 38. 5'11", weighs 235 pounds, black hair that he shaves nearly bald, and brown eyes. He contacted a family member via phone on December 1st, said he'd be coming to their home to wash clothing. He never arrived at the family member's home in Ulysses, and he's not been heard from or seen by family or friends since then. And he had been staying with family and friends prior to his disappearance. It's believed that he may still be in the local Ulysses area, or he may be in the Garden City, Kansas area or surrounding areas. At the time of his disappearance, Alex Perez was, again, 35. He'd now be 38, 5'11", 235 pounds, black hair that he nearly shaves bald, and brown eyes. Excuse me. He does have a tattoo of a bumblebee on his face underneath his left eye. Has Perez tattooed on one of his arms. Has a tattoo of a cross on his on a chain across his chest. Excuse me. If you do have any information regarding Alexander's disappearance, you know of his whereabouts, please call the Grant County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 620, good gravy, that's so small, 356-3800, or the Ulysses, Kansas Police Department at 620, holy mackerel, 356-4600, or the KBI at 785-296-4017. Excuse me. Let me see if I can't real quickly here locate that suspect's name, because we talked about it last week and I couldn't read his name, and I wanted to read it, but it was so small. I have a new computer, by the way. I bought a brand new computer, and it's working pretty darn good.
Good job, buddy.
and I like it. It's got some touchscreen capabilities, which I'm getting used to, but okay, let's see. On Wednesday, December 1st, around 1:45 p.m., Oscar Corrales, 44 of Garden City, was arrested on a warrant for second-degree murder connected to the death of AJ Perez. He was also arrested for racketeering, possession of meth with intent to distribute, possession of drug paraphernalia, and theft. The additional charges were based on an investigation by the Garden City Police Department and the Finney County Sheriff's Office. Corrales was arrested at the Finney County Jail, where he was being held on unrelated charges. As always, all suspects are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. The Finney County Attorney's Office is expected to prosecute the case. The investigation is ongoing. And as of when this KBI release was released, which was back in December of last year, nothing further can be released at this time. So hopefully that will change soon. Yep. So that's the latest information that I have on that. I wished I had more of an update on him in that case. If anybody has any information, don't hesitate to call it in. You know, we got to get Alex found and back to his family.
Yeah. It is crazy. There's been an arrest, though. I remember we covered that case every week, and I was starting to really have dark thoughts about it. I was like, they're never going to find anything, you know. But now, then, you know, that arrest happened, and I was like, whoa. Because, like, when you're like say you're Alexander's family, like, you and I both, we're not anti-police, obviously. You and I are not anti-police people. I think we're anti-bad police, but we would never label an entire police force all bad.
Right.
But I think if you're Alexander's family, after that second anniversary, third anniversary of no updates, you start to lose faith in the police. And that's normal. But then you hear an arrest is made, and I think that's real, like knowing, because me and Ricky are not Alexander's family whatsoever. We just covered his case for 2.5 years, probably 3 years, every week. And I kind of was feeling like the police didn't care. But when I heard that an arrest was made, like it made me realize, like, hey, yes, they do. And yes, they're working all the time, but them updating you and telling you their every move, first of all, so they don't have time to do that. And second of all, you have to trust the process.
Right. And we got Jason Boyer. He's saying, good stuff. I'm not giving up either. I got an ex-cop working on stuff too with Gina and us. He has done his homework. I can say that. Cool. Well, thanks for being here, Jason. And then we got Karen here. Hey, Karen, how are you doing? And Misty's saying to me, it seems like it takes forever to work on cases anymore. Sometimes it just depends on what kind of information they have to work with and what kind of information they're still looking for and stuff like that, and who's talking and who's not.
As somebody who was angry at the police in my 20s and, like I said, like disparaging things about them, like now as a 41-year-old father, I say if you don't like the way the police do things, like they are hiring, go down there and get a job, work your way up and change it from the inside. Like they're doing, I truly feel like they're doing their best they can, you know. Go ahead.
Right. And then Misty's telling Jason to message me, and he will cover Gina's case. Yes, I will cover Gina's case. Just let me know which one that is. If I haven't made a flyer for Gina, I will.
Yeah. 100%. All right. Well, we got plenty of cases to go left here. Let's go ahead and talk about Dietrich. So I got a message. I think you and I both have the same Dietrich contact.
Right.
She messaged me quite a few messages today.
Really?
But I've been doing live streams all day. So I think the last message I said to her is like, what am I looking at here? But like, apparently there's some movement. I don't know movement as far as like getting solved, but I think there's been like a lot of like the Golub case. I think there's been a lot of comment section chatter surrounding Dietrich's case. But yeah, go ahead. And always, anytime you see that red circle, guys, there's 5,000 reasons to tell the truth on this one if you know something. But go ahead, Rick.
Okay. Yeah, this is Dietrich Foster. He's been missing from Independence, Kansas since April 12, 2020. He's 37 when he went missing. He's now 41. He's 5'9", weighs 190 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. He was reported missing on May 12th. He was last seen around April 12th in Independence. KBI and detectives from the Independence Police Department are conducting the case as a homicide based upon findings during the investigation into Dietrich's disappearance. Again, at the time of his disappearance, he was 37. He would now be 41. He's 5'9", weighs 190 pounds, has black hair and brown eyes, has a scar on his chest from heart surgery and a scar on the right side of his nose. He has the following tattoos: a cross on his right forearm, the astrological sign for Gemini on his right arm, 3 dice on his arm, the name Dejeuner, I hope I said that right, on his arm, and the word foo on his abdomen. If you have any information regarding Dietrich's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Independence, Kansas Police Department at 620-332-1700 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And there is a governor's reward of $5,000 for information leading to the arrest and conviction of those responsible for the disappearance and suspected murder of Dietrich Foster, which we are coming up on the 4-year anniversary on Friday. So it will be 4 years this Friday that he's been missing. So let's see if we can help get him found and brought home where he needs to be.
And it's always scary too. Like we cover a lot of flyers of people that have been missing for a long time, and rarely will you see the words governor and suspected murder in the same. You know, like to me, for them to list this as a suspected murder, like they must know some really bad stuff about this case. You know what I mean? Like we have people we're covering that are missing since the 70s, and there's no suspected murder. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like one of the only flyers we have that says suspected murder. So like every time I see that, I'm just like, man, I think the police know some really bad stuff about this situation. To put that on, you know, to attach that to the governor's award, you know,
right?
Like it's just I you know, talking to our you know, mutual source we have from Dietrich's family, I don't think that they think he's coming home, you know, like but I very much they want him to come home, in the sense they want to know what happened to him, where he's at, and if something, you know, malicious did happen to Dietrich, then somebody has to, you know, pay the piper, you know what I mean? Like this guy's friends, family, you know, children, they haven't seen him in 4 years. That's unforgivable,
Right.
you know what I mean?
All right, I'm looking at the comments here real quick. Jason saying Ricky, it's Gina Dawn Brooks case, which I just jotted that name down.
Gina Dawn Brooks.
We have Juanita Bull watching, and Misty is saying hello, Juanita Bull, mother. And Pam Creaky says hi guys, shared on our local scanner page in Topeka. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's awesome.
And Misty saying, gosh, that's so long. Yes, it is. And Misty saying Juanita Bull, thanks, Mom. And Misty Hilton, anyone would want to bring their loved one home? Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. All right, here we go. We have another case we've covered for a long time.
Yeah,
I'll let you get into it.
Dana Bruce. Yep, Dana Jane Bruce, missing from Sedalia, Missouri since October 4th, 2008. She was 23 when she went missing. I'm going to have to double check on the age now, but she was 38 at the time the flyer was updated last. 5'2", 98 pounds, brown hair, green or hazel eyes. She was last seen at her children's babysitter's home in Sedalia. She left the children there earlier that day so she could go out for the evening. She returned at midnight, gave the babysitter more money, and asked her to watch the children for the remainder of the night. Dana was seen at Malone's Bar on Main Street with a young man driving a late model red Ford F-150. Earlier on the night of her disappearance, she left with the man at 11:30 p.m. Police have identified the man Dana was with on the night she vanished. He traveled to Atlanta, Georgia after her disappearance, and police questioned him about Dana after he was arrested there on unrelated charges of marijuana possession and driving on a suspended license. Authorities have not named him publicly, but they are calling him a person of interest in her case. He told his questioners that he and Dana parted ways after they left the bar, and he never saw her after that. She left all of her belongings behind, including her hairbrush and toothbrush. She does not have any credit cards, debit cards, checking accounts, cell phone, or car. Again, at the time of her disappearance, she was 23. She would now be 38. She's 5'2", at least at the time the flyer was updated, 38, and weighs 98 pounds. She has brown hair that was colored brown at the roots and black at the ends with red highlights and green or hazel eyes. Dana was last known to be wearing a black shirt with the word Rebel and silver lettering on the front and blue jeans. Dana has a tattoo of a teddy bear with wings and the name Dylan on her upper left arm. She is blind in her left eye. Dana has a 2-inch scar along her lower spine and a staple scar on her right shoulder. Her ears are pierced 1 time each. If you have any information regarding Dana's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Sedalia, Missouri Police Department at 660-827-7823 or 660-826-8100 or the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178 or their toll-free number is 866-362-6422. And see if we can get some information generated as to what happened to Dana and get her back home where she needs to be. I know her kids are wanting her home, her family's wanting her home. So let's see if we can make it happen.
Yeah, it's not a good situation. And has she, Ella, what was our contact for? What was
Which
her
one?
name? For our contact for Dana.
Oh, the one, her Aunt Ellen. Yeah.
Has she been back since we've been back? I haven't seen her. I don't think.
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, she's been in here. I don't think I've seen her yet.
I haven't seen her tonight, but I think she was. Well, maybe she was on last night. I don't remember.
Hey, this is my buddy Anthony out of Oklahoma. He says Cole brings plenty. Authorities say no foul play was involved, just to sweep it away. I believe he's talking about the actor from Yellowstone that we featured a few weeks ago, who's been found deceased. I know you watch a lot of like YouTube deep dives and stuff. Like, what are you hearing about that case?
Not much really. Just that his body was found not far from the vehicle. It's pretty much all I've really heard. They haven't released a cause of death or what they're suspecting or anything like that. I wish they would release at least something, but I know they got to do an autopsy and all that stuff to make final determinations. But
yeah,
that
was a pretty wild outcome. Well, when you first sent me this flyer, I sent it to the Dodgecast, which is another back home media show. Most of their crew is native, but I didn't know that like there was like was that the one that maybe some allegations and then he took off maybe or
there was some talk that he was in a domestic situation with a girlfriend, I believe, and she was screaming help. He took off, and that was the main thing going around. And it's been reported in several places that was the case, but don't know.
Jessica Falk says, "Where is Dietrich? # Where is Dietrich? I know people in Southeast Kansas now." Yeah. Any case that has a suspicious foul play, there's got to be people that know. And I think there's a plethora of reasons people don't talk, but I think most of it's fear.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Juanita Bull says, "God bless you guys." And Misty is saying, blows my mind that people think it's just okay to leave these families with broken hearts. If you know something, say something. Definitely. And Jason Boyer says, facts. And Misty says, I have my own opinion on that with Cole. I have seen a video his wife or girlfriend's sister's made, and it was disturbing.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yes, the Yellowstone kid is sad as well. Yep, it is. It is.
Anybody that goes missing and is found deceased, that's not good at all. Not good at all.
I did have a brief phone conversation with his Uncle Mo, who's also an actor, and I was, just getting information to make the flyer before he was found. But I mean, he was helpful and he was appreciative of the flyer and everything. And it's actually on his Instagram. I noticed.
Really?
Yeah. Excuse me. Sorry.
Hey, real quick, I'm just curious if you're watching. Type a 555 in the chat if you're currently battling like a cold. Everybody I know is like got a cold right now, man. Yeah. Like I'm so stuffed up right now. I think there's something going around, man. I think there's a cold going around, dude. Everybody's getting sick.
They tell me it's a viral thing that has to run its course, and then they said there was something called a 100-day cough. I've never heard of that, but that's
what I've learned. Like every time I go to the doctor, they'll test me for like COVID, and they test me for flu. And if it's neither one of those, they're just like, it's just some kind of virus. I'm like, what does that mean? I've seen Grey's Anatomy. There's surely got to be like a name for this thing that's making my day hard. It's crazy, man. There's not a lot of if it's not those two, they're just like, well, we don't know. It'll probably get better. Hey, let's go ahead and cover this case. We have one,
Okay.
2, 3, 4 more cases here to cover, and then we can just kind of open it up and talk to everybody. But yeah, we got a case here. T. Montez hurt.
Yeah, he's missing from Lee Summit, Missouri since February 1st, 2024. He's 19, 5'10", 135 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. T. Montez, who's originally from Tennessee, had a mental breakdown on January 31st, 2024 in Kansas City around 3:45 in the morning. He went to St. Luke's Hospital located in the Plaza area for treatment. After his episode, T. Montez's family purchased him a Z-Trip to the Greyhound bus station so he could travel to St. Louis to be with his grandmother. He left a cell phone behind in the Z-Trip. He has not had any contact with anyone since. He does not know his way around Kansas City as he is from Tennessee. He was last seen walking on Troost at the beginning of the month. I'm assuming that means January or February. T. Montez, again, is 19. He's 5'10", weighs 135 pounds, has black hair and brown eyes. He was last known to be wearing a royal blue Price Chopper polo shirt, dark green sweatpants, and black high-top Nike shoes. If you have any information regarding T. Montez's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Missouri State Highway Patrol Troop A at 816-622-0800 or the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department at 816-234-5043 or 816-234-5111 and see if we can't get T. Montez located and back home to his family. So I know they're really, really worried about him. They're wanting him back home. They're wanting to know that he's safe and okay.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can help make that happen.
It's always I take I did take psych meds for years. I'm kind of taking a break right now, but I am diagnosed with bipolar disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder.
Yeah.
It's I've been there. Like, I don't know this situation. I don't know what's going on here at all. I don't want to put myself in T. Montez's situation, but like there's been times like recently where just the idea of just leaving your cell phone behind and walking away,
Right.
like it doesn't make sense to a rational person. You're just like, well, wherever you go, your problems are gonna fall. But like, I 100% get what it's like to want to just walk away, because of mental illness, because of being in your own body's not easy. Your own thoughts that you have every day are harming you. You know what I mean? So like my heart goes out to T. Montez and his family and his loved ones. I hope he's just out going on a walk and trying to collect his thoughts and everything. But I've been there, like it says here he had a mental breakdown. Like I don't think people realize how common a mental breakdown is. In modern day, they happen every day. It's just nobody's usually there to help.
Yeah, and Misty is saying, let's see. Well, you got 1555 right here from Deidre Carlin.
Sickness.
And Misty Hilton says she's been sick for weeks. And then she says, bring T. Montez home. Okay, so early in the first of the month would have been February 1st. Thank you for clearing that up for me, Misty. And she said they finally did a drone search with Ellie today for T. Montez. Good. I'm glad they did. If anything was found or anything like that? Yeah. And then she says, Derek, not sure what the emoji is, but
I think she's just agreeing with it's tough. It's tough.
And Kimberly is saying around here in Chapman, there is a cold going around. All our doctors say it's been lasting up to 6 to 8 weeks. Cough, 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 and just miserable. Feel better soon. Trying. Yes, mental illness is devastating. Yeah, definitely. Not yet sure. Okay. Well, keep me posted on that, Misty, will you? I appreciate that.
Well, hopefully hopefully he can come home and but at the end of the day, it's rough. It sounds like he tried to get some help and maybe a lot. That's another thing. You have mental illness, you're like, well, go get help. Well, sometimes help doesn't look that great. You know what I mean? Like it's not like one of the main things we care about in this country as a whole. We don't really have a lot of money going into making sure everybody's firing on all cylinders, so it's a scary situation. I have gone somewhere. There's one place in Phoenix where you can basically go when you're at the end of your rope and you're stressing out, and like basically it's the only place that it was an urgent care for psychiatric patients, and they would give you medications, Ricky, but they wouldn't give you like Xanax or anything that would get you high. But as far as like Zoloft and Lamotrigine, like medications that just keep you,
Mhm.
they would give you a month's supply for free. The state would pay for it, and that was the first time I had ever seen
Wow.
anybody take people off the street who are feeling bad mentally and help them out. But I gotta tell you, dude, when I went in there, I was in bad shape mentally. But while I was in there as well, there was another guy who was in worse shape than me, to the point
Mm.
where like I don't think he realized what was going on,
Mhm.
catatonic. And
Right.
it really made me humble myself to like, man, my problems really aren't as bad as some people have it. But so like you have like T Montez, he might have walked into a facility to get help, but who knows what that facility looked like, Like, and nothing against that facility. It's just an area where we struggle as a society to do better and make sure everybody has good mental health. I feel like we struggle
Mhm.
at that as a country, to make sure everybody's firing on all cylinders.
Right. And Misty saying that a hospital failed him. And then Jason Boyer saying PTSD sucks, living the same stuff over and over every day.
It is not good, man. Mental illness is rough.
Sorry, Jason, I had to censor that a little bit.
That's fine. We got a couple more cases here to cover. Let's go ahead and get into this one out of Kansas City.
This is Amy Elitano, missing out of Kansas City, Missouri since February 14th, 2024. She's 26, 5'10", 170 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes. She was last seen in the area of 22nd and Benton Boulevard in Kansas City on foot. She does suffer from medical issues that require immediate attention. Again, she is 26, 5'10", 170 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Amy's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call 911 immediately or call the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department's Missing Persons Unit at 816-234-5043 or the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-826-41. Oh, doggone it. Let me get that number up to where I can see it better again. Okay, 81, let's see. I didn't put it on that one. How silly of me. Oh, okay. Anyway, let's see if I can read it here. 816-234-5043 is Missing Persons Unit or the Missouri State Highway Patrol 573-526-4176 or the 866-362-6422. See if we can't get Amy located and back to where she needs to be.
And by the way, we're reading these flyers off the screen. You're reading them off of everybody. We have bigger screens than most people, but they're still hard to read. All of the flyers covered on this show can be found on the Facebook page Kansas Missing and Unsolved.
Definitely.
You can go there and follow along with everybody. All these flyers are there. You can print them. You can save them on your phone. You can save them on your computer. Ricky makes these flyers all day, every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. He makes them on holidays. He does not get paid to do this. It's a labor of love. He has a full-time job on the outside. So all of these flyers were made where there's not a ton of color. They're very cheap to print. If you have a friend that Ricky's covering and you want to post posters, go to the page, literally download it, go to like a place and print 100 of them. And it'll be cheap. Ricky does this a very good job of making sure these are very printable, very, very, if you want to print these and pass them around your areas, it's not going to cost a lot.
The most color I've ever done is when I recently did those banners at the top and added some color.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the most color I've ever added.
Yeah. But these flyers, you'll see several of them go up a day. Ricky's making these in between working his job, raising his kids. He's doing this on his own time. And it sounds like he finally got a new computer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Go ahead.
Real quick positive note. I got up this morning and I had to update 9 to located safe this morning.
9 located safes. Good deal.
Yeah. Man. I was like, whoa, okay. So I was happy to do that.
Yeah. All right. 2 more cases here. Let's go ahead and get into this one. This is going to be out of Missouri as well.
Yeah. Raytown, Missouri. Lexi Malin Thomas missing from Raytown, Missouri since April 4th. 2024. She is 18 years old, and I don't know why I didn't put that at the top. I thought I did. She's 5'11", weighs 270 pounds, red hair, dyed strawberry on the tips and red at the roots, and hazel eyes. She left everything at her apartment, including her phone, and the back door was left wide open. It's believed that she may be in danger. If you have any information regarding Lexi's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Raytown, Missouri Police Department at 816-737-6020 or the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-826-6178 or excuse me, or 866-362-6422 and see if we can't get Lexi located and back to where she needs to be. Hopefully she's
Raytown,
all right.
Missouri. Are you still running the Missouri page?
Yeah, I'm gonna remember to post over there. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, a lot less activity over there because you're not over there. Like you're pretty known in all the detectives in Kansas know who you are.
Yeah, I
so.
needed to post more over there as far as Missouri cases go, and I tend to forget or I get too busy and I don't have time. And
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
or you beat yourself up too much. Let me look up something for you. What's the website that'll tell me how many people are currently missing in the state?
for
KBI?
Kansas, KBI, it's a. You would ask me that.
I found it.
Okay,
We're
cool,
good.
cool,
Okay,
cool,
it's the kbi.kas.gov/missing-persons.
Yeah.
As of today, 229 juveniles currently missing in the state of Kansas. 396 adults.
Gee, Merry Christmas. And the bad part about it is there's lots and lots of them listed with no photos.
Yeah.
I guarantee I'd have a lot more on the page if there were photos available.
I don't think people realize how bad it is, dude. Like, like
Mm-hmm.
again, like this case South Town, it's awful. I hope we find these women, like those are 2 women. And then there's also, and that's not even Kansas, that's a whole other state. But like right now we have over 500 human bodies that we cannot account for.
Oh, no.
That's very scary, dude.
Yeah. You're welcome, Misty. And she says, praying for Lexi. Jason says, bring them all home. Hopefully so.
Yeah.
And Misty says there's over 600 in Missouri. Oh, my.
See, so that's what I'm saying, dude. You're struggling to keep up with your 500 in Kansas. Missouri's another 600. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a problem. There's a lot.
Juanita says, Juanita's saying, oh, my God, that's so heartbreaking. So many. Why? That's a good question. It's a good question.
When I got interviewed by Cake News a few days ago,
Mm-hmm.
and they aired like one sentence of what I said, which is fine. But their producers, their news, they kept trying to they kept asking questions that would kind of lead me into basically saying that like people in this area, Elkhart or Hugoton, people in this area should sleep with what they wanted me to kind of co-sign on, like, well, it's a little less safe here now that there's people missing. But I wouldn't do it. I was like, no, there's like 500 people. Like this area is not any less safe than anywhere else in this state or anywhere else it's a problem. We have lots of people that we can't find,
Right.
Like I refuse to sit here and try to sell my community on fear when I know what I know. I'm like, yeah, this is a bad situation. This is awful. But I hate to say it, it's business as usual in the state in America and all over the world. Like there's missing people everywhere. So like, to put that into perspective, 2 states next to each other. Kansas has around 500 and change. Missouri has 600. Those are just 2 states, very lightly populated states, might I add, in the big grand scheme of things, in the middle of nowhere. And we have that many missing folks.
Especially Western Kansas. The towns in Western Kansas are lots of miles in between.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. So it's a problem. We have a lot of missing people. We have a lot of unsolved crimes, but I want to bring them all home. Here we got this last case here. We're going to go ahead and cover this. Looks like we got a youngster out of Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah, I did a flyer for him the other day, and he had been located, and then he was no sooner located than he went missing again. And his name's Kevin. And what's it, Fuqua? I
think Fuqua.
Something like that. Missing from Kansas City, Missouri since April 9th, 2024. He's 14. 5'11", 135 pounds. He's big for 14.
Yeah.
He's got brown hair, tapered with braids, and brown eyes. He has freckles across his nose and his cheek. You can see he was last seen wearing a dark colored hoodie, gray pants, gray shoes. It looks like has a face mask or some kind of a hood on over his face where you can't see nothing but his eyes. So if you have any information regarding Kevin's disappearance, you know his whereabouts, please call Kansas City, Missouri Police Department, 816-234-5043 or 816-234-5111, or Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178 or 866-362-6422. And see if we can get Kevin located again and back to his mom. I tell you, I've been watching some of her Facebook lives. I've talked to her Messenger too, but been watching some of her Facebook lives, and she is determined to not lose him to the streets.
Yeah.
Yes, Misty, he did run away again once he was found. Yes, that is true, Misty. That's exactly what happened. He's determined that he's just not wanting to be at home for whatever reason. She was saying in one of her lives that he thinks he's a street kid, but he's not a street kid. And she says she's not not going to lose him to the streets. She's going to do everything she can to keep from losing him to the streets.
Well, I don't know this kid at all, man, but I'll say this. Like you said it, this is a big kid. You know what I mean? So, like, this is how I would say it, man. Like, if this kid likes the streets, like, I think really it's just an attitude. Like, Kevin's he's a 14-year-old kid. He's huge. So me and my roommate were talking about this. He's probably more of a trendsetter in his group of friends. I don't know this kid at all, but just looking at how big he is, he looks like he's kind of a cool dude. He's probably a trendsetter in his group of friends, no matter where that setting is. I think it's important to get into Kevin's head and be like, realize like, hey, dude, like, it's bigger than you. You know, you were born unlucky in the sense that people probably look up to you, and with that power, you hold other people's destiny in your hand. You know, I think a lot of it is just a changing of how you think about things. Like,
right?
Maybe Kevin's position in life is to talk to people in the streets. I mean, I don't know his mom. I don't know the situation at all. I know that Kevin needs to be home at the age of 14. It does make me a little bit less worried knowing he is such a big dude. You know, he could probably take care of himself pretty well. And we're not like, it's a situation where it looks like it is a runaway. It's not like maybe he was snatched by somebody. So knowing that he can take care of himself probably, and that it sounds like he left on his own volition, I don't know if I'm worried about his like immediate safety, but like I think that, you know, like instead of just banning him from the street, just get into his head. You know, let him know that like, hey man, you can make a difference in a lot of different ways. And the street life is not the life. I'm not saying to live in the streets, but some of the people that are in the streets need help more than anybody else.
Yeah.
So if you're going to go to those areas, be a positive role model. You know what I mean? Like change your perspective. If you want to go to places, and again, like I'm not a super religious person, but I think, you know, Jesus was the kind of guy that would hang out in the streets. You know, he would go talk to the people that needed the most. But I think Kevin's probably just got a little bit of what I think all 14-year-old dudes have, you know, like they probably thinks he's pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like everybody when they're 14 has a little bit of a attitude on him, you know?
Yeah, it could be. Could be. I just hope he realizes that, you know, trying to be a street kid is not going to be beneficial in the long run. You know, I don't know if he's just one of these kids that's, you know, having a hard time following rules at home, doesn't want to follow rules at home. I don't know, but
teenage years are tough for everybody, man. Most of us make it out on the other side, you know. So I'm gonna hope they're best for Kevin. I hope Kevin, if you ever see this, man, knowledge is power, brother. Make sure you're staying in school. Make sure you're do good.
You know,
do good.
My ex mother-in-law, she said one time we were talking, and she said, you know, she really hated the teen years because it's so hard on kids because they're not a kid, but yet they're not an adult, so they're struggling to figure out where they fit into the scheme of things, and it can be hard for some of them to really try to figure out, you know, where they fit into things.
Yeah.
You know,
and as somebody who's been 14, I know what it's like to want to grow up, you know, but at the same time, like once you're grown up, you kind of look back like, man, I miss being 14. You know what I mean? Like, don't forget to have a childhood, Kevin. You know, like you know, go home, brother. But for real,
Unless he's saying maybe something's going on at home. We don't want to be. I don't know. I mean, listening to his mom and her lives and stuff. I mean, she sounds like she's a very strong Christian woman. Relies heavily on prayer and everything, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the way she talks and stuff. So I don't know if there's anything other than that going on. But I mean, she, like I said, she is determined not to lose him to the streets. She point blank said, he's not a street kid, and I will not lose him to the streets. And she is really upset with KC or Ray, I guess it's Raytown. No, KCPD. She's upset with KCPD. She said, the officers that failed her and stuff, she's going after. She said people that were harboring him, she's going to find out who they are, and she's going after him and pressing charges.
Yeah.
So I mean, she's determined that she's just gonna, right some wrongs. That's for sure.
Well, Kevin's only got a couple years before he's 18, gets to go out and do his own thing. I think Kevin should go home and live with and maybe there's a little bit of truth to what Missy's saying, but maybe not in a malicious way. Mom's kind of sounds a little strict. Maybe 14-year-old dudes don't really want to have a strict mom. So again, 14 to 18 is tense for anybody. But I hope Kevin goes home. I hope Kevin does again positive things. You'd be surprised what you can do with some good people behind you. You'd be surprised what you can accomplish.
Or he thinks that she's too hard on him. Kevin, go home to your mama. Yeah, definitely.
And she probably is too hard on you, Kevin. But trust me, there's a lot of people out there that don't have that their mom doesn't care whether they live or die.
Yeah.
So you should really. It might suck most days that your mom nags you and cares about you, but hey, at least you got that, bro.
Yeah.
At least you got somebody that's out there praying for you. A lot of people, they don't know where their kids are,
Yeah, I'll tell you a little secret. I'm 57 years old. My mom still calls me and checks on me to see if I'm okay, if I need anything, if I'm staying healthy, Yeah. So, excuse me. Sometimes it drives me crazy, but at the same time, I know when she goes, I'm going to miss the heck out of it. So, I mean, I appreciate that she does that, and she always tells me she's praying for me and stuff like that. And I greatly appreciate that because everybody needs prayer, man. I don't care who you are, where you're at. Everybody needs prayer once in a while.
Yeah. Well, I hope hopefully we get a good outcome out of that. But he's a pretty big dude. I think he could handle himself. So hopefully he could just go home and.
Yeah, Juanita's saying, let's keep all them and the families in prayer from experience of not knowing is painful. Wow, I can imagine.
It's not good.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I think I have to end this because I'm in a town where the stores close in 14 minutes and I have to go get something from the store.
No, well, they roll up the sidewalks early, huh?
Dude, Elkhart, Kansas, man, closes at 10:30, so I do got to get out of here. But this is a great show, man. We had a lot of people here. I had a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see. I'm trying to remember what day of the week I'm off next week. Let me look just real quickly here. I can tell you about 2 shakes of a rat's rump here.
Okay.
Pardon my expressions. My mom's half of the family. Well, my mom's mom and dad's half of the family are from Texas, so I pick up a lot of that stuff. I'm off Wednesday again next week.
Okay, well, the show will be Wednesday night next week. We want to thank everybody for hanging out.
Yeah.
Ricky, I'll call you here in about 15 minutes. I do got to run to that store, but everybody, thanks for hanging out. Great show. We'll be back Wednesday night, 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. We will be right back. So thanks for hanging out.
All right.